I am going to teach you how to win every penalty shootout in FIFA 22. G'day guys and welcome to the channel. I hope you're having an absolutely spectacular day. Now let's get straight into the video because you guys want to know how to win every penalty shootout in FIFA 22. We've come to the right place. This video is going to have three sections. Firstly, we're going to talk about how to save the penalties. Then we're going to talk about how to score the penalties. And thirdly, we're going to talk about the biggest kept secret in saving and taking penalties in this entire game, and it completely changed the way I took and saved penalties, and it is going to change your game too. So let's jump into saving penalties. Now, the more penalties we save, the less we need to score. It's so simple, right? So we need to save as many penalties as we can. The first thing I need to share with you guys is something so simple, and a lot of you probably already know this, but you need to know it, so I have to share it. You can see which way your opponent is looking before he presses circle, so you can tell if he's looking left or right before he shoots the ball. Now, this doesn't necessarily mean he's going to look right and shoot to the right side, so be careful, but this penalty shootout is full of mind games, and if you win the mind game, you'll win the penalty shootout. So we need to take in this information of which way he's looking before he kicks it and trying to make sure that we can win. So before he runs in, make sure you see which way his head's looking at. Now, we need to talk about which way we're going to dive. Every first penalty, I take one step to one direction and dive the other way. This is the best tactic for saving penalties, and here is why. When you're taking a penalty, you have three options. You either go left, right, or go down the middle. When using this tactic, let's say you go to the left and then dive to the right, you are taking out the middle of the goals, and you're also taking out the right side of the goals unless they put it in the very, very corner. And if you have a very tall keeper, even putting in the very corner will not stop this tactic. So basically, with every kick, you are taking away two options that the offensive person has. Their only chance of beating this is putting this right in the top corner, and the only way to do that is to line it up pre-kicking the ball. And we can see which way their head's moving. So if someone tries to do this, you will be able to tell if they're trying to line it up and which corner they're trying to line it up in. Now, sometimes you'll play the very, very best in this game, and they can pop it top right and left corner without preloading it and just pressing circle and putting it straight to the top corner. If people are doing this in the first two or three kicks, put away the stepping and diving tactic. However, if you want to guess middle, still do the step and dive tactic, just because if they don't go middle, you might still save it if you go the right way. Now, before we get into how we're going to take penalties, I would love for you guys to subscribe. We're on the road to 1K subscribers. It would be so cool if you guys could do that. Please like the video because that helps the video so much, and comment as well. I love talking to you guys, so I'd love to see you all in the comments. Anyway, let's get on to talking about how to take penalties. My first tip is to make sure you use someone with a very short run-up. When you press circle, your original circle starts really small, and the longer it takes him to run up, the bigger the circle will get if it moves at all. So someone with a short run-up will have less time for that circle to get bigger. Players I see all the time with massive run-ups are players like Neymar. They have really good penalty taking stats, so sometimes they're just straight into the default. However, when they take those big long run-ups, that circle gets massive if you don't kick it properly. If you're trying to save a penalty against someone who is taking a penalty with Neymar, they will often just go down the middle, so they save the big circle, and it doesn't matter, they'll put it on target at least. However, make sure you use the step and dive tactic because it is so hard to put a penalty in the corner with Neymar, and they'll often miss, and you've got way more of a chance of saving it. My second tip is something that might take a little bit of practice on the training ground, and it's how you hold your control. A lot of you probably take penalties like this. You just move the sticks as normally as you would running around. The problem is it is very hard to hold the aimer still, so you will develop a massive circle when you kick. However, I found a way to make the aimer not move at all, and it is taking penalties like this. Slide your thumb under the stick and hold your thumb on the spot. The stick will not move at all. This takes a lot of practice in the training field to get used to the new tactic, but trust me, once it becomes natural, you will not miss a single penalty spot you are aiming at. My third tip for taking penalties is always try and time them. Some of you might know what timing is. So basically, timing a shot is when you shoot, you have the opportunity to increase your odds of the ball going in by pressing circle again at the right time. There are 4 options to timing a shot. Red, which is very early and bad timing, and you will most likely miss. orange/yellow, which is still early but won't have as big of an effect, then green, which is perfect timing. And also, if you press it too late, it will be flashing white. It does not affect the shot at all. You can use this for not just in-game playing, but also with free kicks, but especially penalties. The big difference with penalties is that when you yellow or orange time it, it won't affect the shot in a bad way at all. It actually affects it in still a positive way and gives you more chance to score the goal. So timing it in penalties is massive, because if you time it early, it still gives you the extra chance. If you time it green, really good chance, and if you do it too late, it doesn't affect the shot at all. If you get it green, sometimes the keepers make really bad saves for some reason, I don't know, but when you green it, sometimes the keeper just makes an absolute blunder. So always try to green them. Now I have to mention this, but I don't want to. There is a way that you can chip the ball into the top left or right corner, and it is a bit of a glitch. If you want to go learn this, go somewhere else. I will not be teaching this because I really don't like the tactic. Now on to the last tip. This is the biggest tip of all by an absolute mile, and it literally changed my penalty ratio so much. I went the first 3 months of this FIFA without losing one penalty shootout, and it comes down to this one thing: confidence. Now I know it sounds silly, but it will completely change your game. You have to be confident on which way you are going. So many people will be like, oh, do I go left or do I go right? And then I'm not sure, I'll just maybe go left. And then they just pick left, and then they just kind of do it, and then they either miss or they don't put it right in the corner, and they're not prepared. When you go to take your penalty, you make your mind up and you send it, and be 100% confident that no matter if the keeper dives that way, it is going to hit the back of the net. I usually just decide at the time which way I'm going to go, depending on which way he has dived. But if you are not very confident with that, write it down before you even do your penalties. Write it down at the start of the FIFA session that if you go to penalties, you're going to go left, right, middle again. Just write it down and make that the routine for the day. You can change it up every day so it can be different, and you know you're not going to get caught in your routine. But just make sure that you are confident and you hit that spot that you wanted to go every time. The same thing goes for when you're trying to save penalties. A lot of the time you go, oh, do I go right or left? Which way is he going? And he's already running up, and sometimes you can even dive late. And when you do this, even if you dive the right way, you might not save it. So even if you don't actually know which way he's going, because sometimes you just don't know which way he's going, just be confident in the way you dive and the tactic that you're using at the time. Now, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope you guys start winning plenty more penalty shootouts. Have a cracking day, and if you want to see me qualify for Weekend League with a Silver Australian team, please click the top video. It would be an absolute help. I love you guys so much, and we'll see you in the next one.